What's up, dudes? I'm Wade the Universe, your master of geeky and nerdy, and welcome to a new episode. And today, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cosmic, lasered aeroplane is a duck blur. Let's solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! This video probably is copyright for DuckTales. Woo! Eat my ass, YouTube copyright. It's DuckTales. So yeah, I probably would continue that, but then maybe it would be interesting. A lot of people are probably like, he really did that. Like, yes, I did. So, welcome to my retrospective of DuckTales. This is my first time watching the '87 cartoon. I found this DVD at our thrift store. Now where I live is very small, mind you. It's very small. The only major store that we have here is basically a Dollar General and a Walgreens. Those are the two basically major stores that we have here. So, every so often, me and my father will go to our thrift store. And usually, when I'm there, I look at the comic books, because they have, loose comic books, and also their DVDs. And now, their DVDs are two separate shelves, but they also house, sometimes, the kids section. And the kids section is basically, kids' height, So, and often I look there, because sometimes I find some cartoons and stuff that I like. That was how I came across the Bleach DVDs at one time. So, when I got there, and why is Bleach in a kids section is beyond me. But anyways, when I got there, I found this, and I was like, DuckTales. And I always remembered watching the old intro back on YouTube, and I'm like, DuckTales, I never watched this before. So I thought it could be interesting. And man, oh man, this is interesting. And I'm a fan of older Disney stuff, my favorite voice actors are some of the older ones, like Sebastian Cabot, Phil Harris, and especially Alan Young as Scrooge McDuck. He to me is Scrooge McDuck. Catches me kiss! So, this is great. This is when basically Scrooge McDuck takes on Huey, Dewey, and Louie from Donald Duck's care because Donald joined the Navy. He wanted to join the Navy and see the world. And from there, and this is also after the movie that introduced DuckTales, the one with that witch duck, whatever her name was, Maleficent Duck or something like that. I have no idea. But that does introduce the other characters into this. And I gotta say, Webby reminds me so much of Dot from Animaniacs. I just expected her at some point just to go up to the camera and go, "Aren't I cute?" And I'm like, oh, she's adorable. It's just sometimes you get that really cute female character in cartoons or in movies, and it's like, oh, you're adorable. And that's how I felt with Webby. So this series is not very story driven, but it is very simple to follow. But a lot of the episodes aren't basically located in one spot. There are a lot of episodes where they either go through history or something weird happens. There's an episode where they meet tiny ducks from another planet. There's an episode where they go back, where they basically go to journey to the center of the earth, so to speak, where they come across dinosaurs and other, cavemen and whatnot things. There was even an episode that was a play on Superman with a character called Doofus. I feel so sorry for you. And yes, his actual name is Doofus. And he becomes a superhero because he finds a magical stone that he thinks is a donut. The comedy writes itself, people. It is fantastic. But there are some really dark episodes. There was one where Scrooge McDuck basically goes into bankruptcy and his contender basically wipes him out, or buys him out. So while he is basically homeless, it's kind of like, oh my god, and I have been homeless. I can definitely verify that. I myself have been homeless. I know how this feels. And there was actually a moment where I was kind of sitting there actually watching this, where I was almost crying because I know what it feels like to be homeless. I know what it feels like to be in these circumstances. A lot of you might not believe me, but yeah, there was actually a time where I was shortly homeless. I was like homeless for like a year and a half. It's a true story. I could say it to you, but I saved that for a special occasion. Maybe I can do like a story of my life, so to speak, when I hit so many subscribers. We'll see. I'll make a bet. If we can hit 100 subscribers at some point, no rush, I will actually tell my whole entire life story, the ups and downs, the goods and bads, and everything in between. So I'll make that bet with you. If we hit 100 subscribers in the future, I will tell you my life story. But more on DuckTales. So the series is just that. It's comedy combined with everything else. There's even movie parodies. I have to look through the episode thing here. Just take that out. Send and the Clones is obviously a reference to Star Wars. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories. For the memories. He tastes like you, only sweeter. Where no duck had gone before, Star Trek, Armstrong, which I think is a reference to Neil Armstrong, Robot Robbers, Magica, the Master of the Dungeon, Aladdin basically, Hotel Strange Duck, Hotel basically Transylvania. Oh my god, DuckTales predicted Hotel Transylvania. I don't know how I feel about this anymore. And yes, I love Hotel Transylvania, mind you. The Last Con of Genghis Khan, which is not a reference toward anything. Let's see here. I'm just reading down through the episode. The Duckman of Alcatraz. You mean an Alcatraz prison reference, Disney? My god. The Money Vanishes. The Gaida de Gearlers, which is a reference to Night Tales. I love it. Dinosaur Duck, Hero for Hire, which is also a reference off of the Marvel superhero group called Heroes for Hire, which is also a reference to a DC character that almost is kind of the same deal. See, I'm a nerd, so I feel like I should explain this to people who don't understand. So back during the Marvel days, there was two superheroes who united together who were called Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I still wish that they were around today. A lot of people do, because a lot of people said that Iron Fist and Luke Cage comics were like really good. Maybe I should pick them up at some point. But there was also a hero back in DC's time who got a revamping, and he basically is called Dial H for Hero. This dude has a little, it's almost like basically Ben 10, because he can dial any hero that he wants under the basically telephone, and that's just in my actual phone, so it'll be like HERO, and he can dial in any hero that he wants. But here's the thing: it's any hero that he needs. So every time he puts the button, it transforms him into a hero that can help him in a circumstance. So to speak, if you remember Ben 10, when Ben used to accidentally change into an alien that he didn't like, there was a reason for that. The Omnitrick does it. So basically the phone would do it for him. And I have to... Okay. Nobody touched to call me. Good. Just wanted to shut that just in case. Super Do, which is obviously a reference to Superman. They even make a reference to Superman, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a flying duck who has a donut around his chest. I feel like we should be talking about something else here. And then the Maid of the Mist. Obviously, I think it's a reference towards the Maid of the Mist up in Canada, which is the actual boat that goes around Niagara Falls. The Maid of the Mist. Down and Out in Duckburg, which is not a reference to anything. Much Ado About Scrooge. which is, I think is a reference to the movie Much Ado About Mary. Top Duck. All I'm going to say in this moment is, highway to the danger zone. The Pearl of Wisdom, which I can't think of anything like that. The Curse of Castle McDuck, which I think is a reference towards the Curse of Castle something with Vincent Price. Launchpad Civil War, which is a reference to probably all the Civil War movies. The Something Duck of Youth, which is a reference to the Fountain of Youth. God damn it, Disney. Reference movies I know. And stuff I know. Okay. Sweet Duck of Youth. Earthquake, which is a reference to the movie Earthquake. Sweet Home Homer. Sweet Home Alabama, I guess, because that is actually a movie, not just a song, it's an actual movie. Bermuda Triangle Tango, and Mirror Ducks from Outer Space. So, or Microducks from Outer Space, which is probably a reference to the Micronauts, which is an actual toy line. So this series is actually like really, really damn good, and I couldn't just talk about basically the first 3 episodes, because basically, you'd have to talk about a lot more, because it would be like, me just saying like Magica sent the Beagle Boys in to deal with and steal one of Scrooge McDuck's rarest coins. Does it make sense to you? No, because you have to actually watch the series to know what I mean. Because every episode does not tangle together. Like if I talk about basically like Black Lightning or Doom Patrol or like a Marvel movie, everything I talk about goes into one another. With DuckTales, you're doing this! Try and follow me, people! Like, you can't. But is DuckTales a really good series? Heck yes. But it does have a revamping that was made in like 2013, I think it is. And it's been on for a while. I think it just stopped, which now we got Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck! Let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck. I'm in rare form today. I'm just in rare form. But yeah, it does have a lot of like the older voice actors, like the original voice actor for Donald Duck is in this, the original voice actress for Huey, Dewey, and Louie is in this, and yes, I said voice actress. I believe that there is a single voice actress who does the original voice, I can't think of her name, for Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and who also, I think, at one point did Minnie Mouse. So, yeah. So, no, Mickey, Goofy, and a lot of other characters don't appear in this. It's just basically in Donald Duck's universe. Which I guess makes sense, but it would have been nice to see, like, Mickey and some of the other people in this as well. Launchpad McQuack is in this, but a lot of people might know him from Darkwing Duck! But yes, he is actually in this, rather than being in Darkwing Duck. I think he went from DuckTales to being in Darkwing Duck. I am the terror that flaps in the night! So yeah, he does actually make his appearance in this, as well as Gearwood, who I think was also who was in Chip and Dale. Oh, I'm sorry. Chip and Dale! Rescue Ranger Chip and Dale! Hi, I'm a nerd. How old are you? So, I just have the first volume of this. But, do I think it is a good series? Heck yes. I was always kind of resented at going to this at first because Disney XD was doing like a revamping. And I knew that this was an older series. And I was like, man, if I can pick up the older series, I can actually talk about it and, watch it. Faith comes in strange forms, my friends. So, there are a lot of really great episodes in it. I can't think of one episode that I think is, like, really bad because they're all, like, really good. I think the only one that I don't like is the Bermuda Triangle Tangle, which has a very weird, very, like, obscure story, so to speak. Like, basically, you have these ships that get lost in the Bermuda Triangle, but rather than talking about, like, the strangity that nobody can leave the Bermuda Triangle, they just talk about it being a large sea creature who won't let them leave because he likes the attention. Make of that what you will. So, do I think that everyone should watch DuckTales? Yeah, especially if you're a fan of the newer series. You should definitely check out the older series of DuckTales. Regrettably, I was only able to pick up the very first season. This is only episode 1 to 27, so this is probably just one of, 3, I think. So, even for first, 27 episodes, this is still good. This is still great to see. And of course, it references a lot of, other movies and pop culture, which, as a nerd myself, I tend to do that a lot of the time. Especially when they did, made a reference to Star Trek, where no duck has gone before, so to speak. I was like, okay, but it's not only referencing Star Trek, it's referencing, Buck Rogers of the older years. It's referencing Flash Gordon. Flash! Ah! It does reference Flash Gordon. It references a lot of the other stuff. And I think that the lead character, Duck, is supposed to be basically William Shatner. But I'm sitting back going, I don't think William Shatner acts like he's larger than life, so to speak. I never met the dude. I'm just a person who talks on YouTube about things that he likes. Basically, nerd vlogger. But here you have them trying to say, whoa, William Shatner is so full of himself. I'm like, I don't think so. I think that he's a nice dude. I don't think that he's full of himself. I mean, when he does commercials and interviews, he seems like a really nice person. He doesn't seem like the type of dude that you're playing him out to be, Disney. But there is a lot of moments that are really great in this, and especially a lot of character development. For example, Gyro. There is the moment in the episode The Third Gyro Gear Loose. He thinks oh, I can be so much better as a knight, until he realizes that even being a knight or a hero can have its consequences, and even he realizes that people need more of him if he goes down this road than as he is as an inventor. He invents things and he helps people, but if he does it this path, he realizes it's a lot more harder and a lot more stress onto him. So, it's a lot of character development in this, but it makes it such a good series. Though for the series ending, the Micro Duck one really makes you scratch your head and go, uh-huh. I know that this is just a Disney series, but for a 27th episode ending for just the first volume of the first season, I'm still sitting back going, uh-huh. So you have tiny little ducks from outer space who can make things shrink and grow, who leave their machine by accident on Earth, and it shrinks Webby, Mr. Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And I think also it shrinks Launchpad as well. And I'm kind of like, okay. And also it's kind of a reference to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, because I think there is a insect or whatever that they do actually become friends with, which is very much a reference to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, when the kids are friends with an ant. So, hell yes, you should check out the original DuckTales. It did come out in 1987, but you can find the DVDs almost anywhere. I can guarantee if you go to a local FYE or a place that sells cheap or discounted DVDs, this probably might be in there. This probably might be something that's in there. I know that probably the volume set probably costs even more, but if you can track these down, especially in the volume set, yeah, I recommend it. It's a pretty damn good series with good voice acting, great Disney animation. Can't ever deny Disney for being great animation, except when they're doing the live action stuff. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the original DuckTales or the remake if that is your thing. I'm not saying anything. But I do love the original DuckTales, love the original voice actors, the music is great. Of course, you have the classic opening, and of course, you have everything else that makes Disney, at the time, well, Disney. So, I highly recommend it if you haven't done it yet. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, there might be tiny little micro duck astronauts that exist in space who might come to Earth and shrink us. No, I'm never going to let that go. That is the strangest and weirdest episode I think I've ever seen. And until next time.